So we're going to do a little segment on the van as well. This is an awesome van. It's a Trail Explorer. They're only a relatively new brand, but they've got really good value for money and really strong vans. And we'll talk about that a bit more in a moment. But starting from the front, pretty heavy duty chassis, full off-road. We have fitted a Grip Sport bike rack, which is a 4-bike rack. It's pretty heavy duty, they're quite an expensive unit. But the way that it was set up here on the crossbar on the A-frame, on the drawbar, this pipe here, vertical pipe, ended up being a lot further away from the gas bottles than it was on our previous iteration of this van. We'd already had one of these vans and we worked out what we wanted to change, and so we've got this is the new version. So late in the piece we had Mick, my mate Mick, and his mate Mick, and we had the triple Mick happening, and he came and welded this on, this extra bar and extra crossbar, and we ended up putting this over the box here where I always wanted the bikes, and they're sat there really well. They can be moved around, heavy duty, you know, in the rough stuff, and they don't hit the van, and it's solid. It's really solid. So really happy with how that's gone. Got a Boss jockey wheel here. Now the convenient thing with this, and I won't get all the drill out at the moment. You can just get a drill with a fitting. I've got the drill in there, and you just wind it down. It drops the pin out. You put a plate in it, clip it on, and you can just wind it up with the drill. All right, pop your connection off, and it's easy up, easy down, and you can leave it on there. One of the biggest pains I found was having to every day muck around getting the jockey wheel on and off and undoing this thing. I hated it, and because you're doing it a lot, this is a cool thing. There's other versions out there, other brands as well, but that one seems to suit our purposes. Dual gas bottle, big box in the front here with slides. This has just got all our pipes in it. The one on the other side's got our generator and fuels. I had them fit this little pipe here, and that allows us to put in, there's actually a sullage hose in there right now, but you could use it for, I'm thinking about using it for fishing rods, longer fishing rods. But it's convenient to have. There's a bit of extra space in behind there that was unused. In here, you've got your full slide out kitchen. Had snags last night. All goes really good. You know, can you do little roasts in there as well, and you know, it's enough for the 5 of us. You know, sausages, steak, all the rest of it, really convenient. That just clips into gas and water, both hot and cold water underneath. It's got a nice little light in there as well, and the light comes on out here. Obviously you've got your big awning that you can pull out. It's pretty robust, really strong step. This gets a lot of use, so you know, these really need to be quite heavy duty. We had better speakers put in. These are a Fusion Marine speaker, and so they're a bit more heavy duty, better sound. You've got your little outdoor table. You've got your TV mount out here as well. Your TV connection if you want to bring your TV out and slot it outside and watch out here with your connection. Watch DVDs or TV. Underneath, if you get right in there and have a squeeze inside there, down under here, you'll see some pretty heavy duty dual suspension there, Kodiak suspension, and that is some good gear for traveling off-road. Obviously nice big knobblies. Around the back here, we ended up getting a couple of extra jerry can holders inside this bar. One's got water, one has fuel, so we're carrying an extra 3 jerry cans of diesel in case, you know, you get caught out on a long haul. Got the decal up, It's pretty flash. trailrv.com.au if you're interested in this van. Alright, around the outside here, we'll finish up on the outside. Got the 3 water tanks on this one. We had an extra 80 litre water tank put in, 240 litres of water. It's very handy having extra water, I've got to say. Outdoor shower. Over here you have another storage area, which is on the other side of the fridge slide, and you've got brooms and, you know, flooring and canvas and other bits and pieces that we've stuck in there. Obviously it comes with the stone guard as well. I think that will probably be sufficient. You can get other types of stone guards that sit horizontal. We'll soon work that out when we're traveling on some really rough stuff. Okay, so let's check it out inside. Missed the batteries. Okay, so we've got obviously our battery area down here. Before originally we had gels. Now we have lithiums, 2 150 amp hour lithium batteries there in a hard case, and they've been going really well so far. Obviously it's early days, but lithium give us a deeper cycle. You're probably a little bit more versatile in charging and things like that. So we're happy to be running with lithium, and of course they're a little bit lighter, and saving weight is a big advantage when you're traveling. All right, just going to put that little lock back on there. Keep things in order. So come on into the abode. Where do we start in here? So the structure of this van is worth talking about. It has a special single panel that gets joined together to create the structure of this van. There's no timber in the external construction. It's very strong and it's very rigid. So you're able to actually walk on the roof, stand on the roof. It's that strong. And it also means that if you're going off-road, it's not moving about. And it also means that they give you a 10-year structural warranty on these vans, and I don't think there's anyone else that does that in Australia. So I could be wrong on that, but we looked at a lot of vans and these just look sleek. They don't have the ridges in them, they don't have timber in them, and they're really strong. So that's pretty important. Obviously pretty cool LED lighting throughout. You've got features like inside your little, next to your bed here, you got these little ports in underneath. We've got USB ports in there so you can charge your phones, you can plug your laptop in. You know, you've got touch lights underneath the beds, reading lights. Some of the features that we had requested to get changed, there's a few of them from the previous van, and they've made those features now standard in some of the vans. Just having this this area up here wasn't so reflective, and that's pretty helpful. Other thing they've done now is the top of the pelmets here, they've got a little shelf in them. Before they were just flat, and you can store your keys and bits and pieces up on top of here, which is pretty convenient. Also had a scupper vent installed here, so when you're on dusty roads, you open your scupper vent, that pressurizes the inside of the van and helps push dust out. It doesn't allow the dust to come in as easily. I'm not saying you won't get some dust, but certainly helps that situation. So under the bed here, quite a bit of storage. This thing here is really worth, it's really worth having a good chat about. This is a Truma combi heater. And that Truma heater does both our hot water and ducted space heating. And it works a treat. They're made for Europe, and it's so good. It's been freezing cold out here. You only have to set on it on about 19 degrees. If you set it any higher, you roast. It's like a sauna, and it blows out really hot air, and it's pretty efficient. It seems to last. The gas doesn't burn out too quick on it at all, and it gives you boosted hot water, so you can have a nice hot shower. Of course, when we're off grid, we're having pretty short showers, but geez, it makes it comfortable in cold conditions. Absolutely a must. Okay, so over here, worth having a bit of a squiz around this side. We ended up getting a better head unit here for the the radio. This is an Extrons, and this is sort of I think it's a Windows operated unit. They go in cars most often. You can have you can plug DVDs into this, USBs, and that will run through to the units that are inside the kids' bunks, which we'll have a look at in a minute. Down here, you've got the Red Arc controller, the management system for the 12 volt. All right, so that's controlling the solar. The solar, we've got 450 watts of solar on the roof, and obviously when you're driving, you've got the charge coming through from the car to the lithium bank here as well. So that manages all that. That unit is inside this cupboard here. So you got your Red Arc on this side, and on this side we've got the projector 12 volt to 240 volt inverter, which allows us to have 240 volt power in an off-grid situation. And we've used that already. That's 2000 watts continuous, 4000 watts peak, and that was pretty much specifically done so that the young lady back here behind the camera could run the Thermomix. And I've got to say the Thermomix is pretty handy thing to have. It can dinners are pretty quick. You just set it up here. All the power points can be run off that inverter, so it's convenient. You have your thermo going there. We can charge. I can put the laptops in, charge them, and it's great. We even ran the electric fry pan the other night for 10 minutes to do a bit of quick stuff, and it's just so convenient being able to do that off grid. It allows you just to go away and be where you want and really not have to worry about anything. The key thing is just water, really, water and diesel. So obviously there's the telly there. That's got a nice mount on it. They can be lifted out to put outside, or when you're traveling. You've got 12 volt and USB ports at different places around. Really nice finishes on the cupboards. Soft close on your cupboards. All right, so they're not banging down. We've got an oven here, and obviously a cooktop. There's a gas cooktop in there as well, which does get used at times. No microwave though. Our microwave area, we don't believe in microwaves. They're shocking things. We got that just as a storage area up in there. Also just gone back to a standard 12 volt and 240 fridge. Before we had a 3-way, and it was very inefficient on 12 volt. And considering the amount of solar that we have on the roof, it makes sense for us just to use it on 12 volt. We didn't really need the gas, so we swapped over, and it's running beautifully. We've also got down in here, this is where we do all our changing over for your water tanks, your 12 volt pumps in there, and this is where you swap your tanks over. All right, and once you run out of one tank, you can flick it over to the other tank. In the back of here, I don't know if we can see it, way down in there, we've also got a triple water filter. Okay, might not be able to see. Might be able to see it that well. Oops, wrong one. So in the back of our pantry here, we've got a triple water filter, and I really need an alkaline water, so it's got a double alkalizer unit on it, and it's been running. We just topped up here in Coober pedy last night, and we're drinking Coober pedy water, which I think it's obviously potable drinking water, and it's been probably filtered already, but we're filtering it again through that, and everything seems to be going quite good. The water seems fine. Storage underneath here, as you would expect. In the kids' bunks, we had the colour on all this change to be grey, so it doesn't get finger marked by the kids as much. Little pocket pouches. You got your reading lights, and you've got USB ports up in there. We also had the Sirocco fans installed at the end, so they can run them in the end. We've got these units up here which can run SD cards, HDMI port, USB. They can run it individually. We've got headphone sets with them, and they can run from that head unit there all together, so we can put a DVD or a USB over there and run it here for the kids, which is pretty cool. Cupboard space for the kids. Laundry down here. Now in theory, if you have water, we were going to test it today, but we ran out of time. we could run that off grid when, you know, run it. If you've got enough water, it'll run that and do a full wash, no dramas at all. I'm going to test that out shortly to see how much water it actually uses. So in here we've got a good size shower, of course, and it goes beautifully. Nice and hot, as I mentioned earlier. All the finishes in here are really nice. The key thing about the bathroom is this toilet. Now, we swapped this over from a standard chemical toilet, and this toilet has a number of features that allow us to remain off grid, and I tell you what, it has proven itself already. So if you have a look in the top here, it's not too terrible. Right, you've got your hole there for your wee, and then you open this hole up here for your poos. And it has a fan in it. The fan just circulates. In the bottom of there you put a peat block, and that peat block just starts composting. Because it's got no urine in it, it doesn't smell. And the fan just constantly runs there, and you just turn this little handle at the side and it just turns it all over like a compost pit. All right. Every few days when the bottle gets full, or you know, every day, however you want to do it, you just take this bottle out and you can pour that urine out under a tree somewhere. But the main section for number twos, that can last a family of 5 a couple of weeks or more. So you can be in an off-grid situation. You don't need to be running around looking for dump points and whatever else. And what comes out of that is effectively just a compost. So if you leave it for a few days after your last number 2, it's just dirt by the end of it, and it can just sort of, you know, you can just put it almost, you know, into the garden sort of thing. But you probably should just put it in a proper dump point at that point. But it's just has no smell. Honestly, I'm sensitive to smells, and we're in here, and even when you're going to the loo, it doesn't smell. It's just so much better. And absolutely, if you had to deal with chemical toilets and emptying that out, it's just disgusting. I hated it. This is going to be awesome. Super, super happy with that change. That's called a Nature's Head composting toilet. Okay, so I think that just about covers us for the main features. Of course, you've got air conditioning up here. Not really intending trying to run that off grid. You're not going to have enough power in your batteries, but we do have the generator there on really stinking hot days. If you're somewhere where you can run the generator, you can run this, or of course if you're plugged into 240 power, you can run your air conditioning. I think that is just about the main parts of it. So tell you what, there's lots of vans out there on the market, but we spent a lot of time looking around. We had, you know, hard-earned dollars that we needed to, you know, that we wanted to spend, but we wanted to spend it on the right thing, and we're really happy. We're really happy with this van, and for the dollars that you spend, I think you get a lot. As with all things, some of the process stuff can be trying at times, but ultimately, I think we ended up with a really good product, and we're really happy with it. So, cameraman, am I covered? No more here. I think that's it. Oh, what might be worth mentioning, you know, of course these things are pretty cool. You know, you got your fly screens down, fly screens up, and you got your shutter up, and they just lock in. There's all sorts of little bits and pieces that are just, it's just incredibly convenient now. The amount of stuff that you can do and be away and be off grid, as long as you can get access to water, it's just, we can just stay out here for ages and enjoy ourselves. So get out there and do it. We're only a little bit into this track. We had a few people asking about the van and you know, features and what is it. So we just thought we'd do a little update and make sure everyone knew what we were traveling in. So you can find out more about trail vans, trailrv.com.au, and you can also call Chris in Trail New South Wales, 0414 565 806. Call Chris, mention Off-Grid Earth, and you'll get a choice of either a full kitchen slide out or a ducted heating system for free on your van. So it's a pretty good deal. There's a few $1,000s in that sort of deal. So if you're in the market, definitely you know, check them out and make sure you mention us, and you'll get that deal. So why not, eh? Okay, I think we're sorted, and we'll say over and out from Off Grid Earth.